Izzy, hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We've known each other since birth.
Yeah.
Well, your birth.
My birth.
Do you remember meeting me out of the womb?
No. I remember like one time just like seeing you walk in my house and I was just like, who is this blonde lady? But you were like really young.
That's kind of funny because as a baby or a child, you hadn't met me technically besides me just looking at you or carrying you maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like one day it just kind of like clicked. Maybe you were like babysitting us or something.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah.
Yeah. To give people background, we lived in the same neighborhood. Our parents were friends. And so I remember you and your sister being born because you have a twin sister.
Yep.
It's you and Grace. And so I kind of tell people you're my little sisters that I never had but always wanted because I have two brothers and I always wanted sisters. So then I didn't expect it, but like as you guys grew up, I was like, wait, they're kind of like my sisters at a soul level, if you could say it like that.
Yeah. And you're literally like my big sister. So
Yeah. And I always say you and Grace are the two sides of me because you guys are
Yeah.
so opposite.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that at all? How different you are?
Well, I can't really speak for Grace just because like we've gone through such different paths, whereas I'm definitely more of like kind of like the sporty twin, but also kind of like morphing more into like the kind of creative twin also, which is kind of interesting because like growing up, Grace always used to be like kind of into like arts and crafts and like
Or photos. We would do
photo
photo shoots.
shoots.
And she loved
yeah.
modeling and doing that whole thing. So that's true. You kind of maybe express it in different ways, but
Yeah.
she's more into, it seems, business, marketing, entrepreneurship stuff now.
Yeah, for sure. And also like, you know, kind of into that modeling, kind of state pageantry and stuff like that. Kind of like switched to being more expressive through like actual fine arts and visual arts and stuff.
Because you do theater.
Yeah.
And you know so much about history.
Yeah.
So which plays, remind me, have you done Shakespeare? Any
No,
of that?
I have not done Shakespeare.
Which
the
other
closest I've gotten to Shakespeare is reading out loud in class. So,
Okay,
but,
so wait,
yeah.
which plays were you in? Because don't you go to Chicago?
Yeah, I used to go to a theater camp in Chicago every summer. I did it for 3 years. So I did You're in Town my first year.
Wait. Like you're in town?
No,
Or
like
urine, like pee?
urine, like piss. Yeah, like pee.
Of course. Okay. I was like, to double check that. Because
Yeah, no, I had never heard of it before going to camp because like they don't announce the shows until you're there and you're basically stuck there. So they didn't want kids like backing out and anything, you know. But it was a really fun show. I really enjoyed it. It's about like poor people have to pay to pee, and then like there's like the rich 1% that run the whole system. And like if you pee without paying, then you're sent to this place called Urine Town. And it's revealed in the second act that Urine Town is just, you know, death. Like they just kill you if you pee without paying. So it's this story about Bobby Strong, who's like one of the poorest. His father is sent to Urine Town. He's like, I have to avenge my dad. And then he falls in love with this girl named Hope, who is the daughter of like the big business dude.
So one of the 1% rich guys?
Yeah. And it's their love story kind of, but also like this like revolution. So I played Miss McQueen, which was the assistant to the super duper rich guy.
Oh, that's an
whose
interesting
name
role.
I actually totally am just drawing a blank on right now.
It's okay. We just call the super rich guy.
The super rich guy, yeah.
So were you technically poor? Of
No.
the poor class?
I was technically one of the rich people, but also just like kind of trying to maintain like my position because I'm like obviously kind of super scared of my boss because like literally one thing from him and I could be like,
Could he cast you out?
yeah
Got that power?
Yeah. So my like one huge dance number kind of song scene thing is Don't Be the Bunny, where he's talking to his daughter of like, you know, don't be a fool, don't be like controlled, and I'm the person who's being controlled. I'm the bunny in the situation. He's like, don't be like this dude over here.
So it's kind of ironic.
Yeah, super ironic. It's a comedy. It's so funny. I loved it.
Did you sing?
I sung a little bit.
Do you like to sing in front of people or is it scary?
No, it's really scary, man.
I don't think I could yet, but one day
Mhm.
I'd love to push myself too, but it sounds so scary.
Yeah. It's like, it's actually, it's kind of, it's a funny story. So if we want to dig into it,
Yeah, do it.
I had like this massive fear of singing in front of people. And it stemmed from my 4th grade music class when we had a substitute one day. And we had this assignment where we had to sing the national anthem, just like memorize the national anthem, sing it in front of the teacher. That's it. Like, that's all we had to do. And it was like a week-long assignment. We were just like practicing. And then this sub comes and he's like, okay, I want 3 kids to sing the national anthem. He points to me. He's like, you sing it. And I'm like,
By yourself? Or
yeah,
3
by
together?
myself, just like in front of the whole class. And I'm just like,
Oh,
what? Okay. So I do it. It's awful. I don't know what I'm doing. I barely know the words. It's foul. And he looks at me. He goes,
gives you a face.
He gives me the nastiest face. And I'm just like, I'm a little 4th grader. I'm just like sitting in my chair, like,
That's insane.
and then like 2 other people go, like, second one's fine. And then the third one's like, brilliant, amazing. Everybody claps. And my teacher's like, that is the best singing I've ever heard, ever. And he looks at me and then he looks back at the girl. He was like, that was fabulous. And he's like, and I'm like, dude, I'm literally just in 4th grade. Like,
What kind
I don't know.
Yeah, what kind of teacher bullies a 4th grader?
For real.
Literally taking mad
Like a
control of his
vendetta.
power.
Yeah. I don't know, but that happened. And then like I had this like super huge fear of like singing in front of people. And then my best friend would go away to this theater camp and I'd be like, where are you going for 6 weeks without me? Like, dude, what is up with that?
My
like,
soul is hurting.
no, for real. Like in the middle of summer, like, let me come with you. And so she was like, oh my God, you'd love it. And I would be like, oh, okay, let's do it. So I went, and that was like the first time I'd like ever like sang in front of people again. And it was super liberating. Like, I loved it so much. And I had that role, which was more of like an acting role and not necessarily singing. So like if I did sing, it would be like with all the other rich people or all the other characters who played rich people. So it was like super comfortable, really nice.
Were the teachers good? Did they give you feedback in helpful ways?
Yeah. The music director was a new guy, but he was super helpful. He was only there for that first year, and so I don't remember his name. Paul. It was Paul.
Aww.
Yeah, he was super chill for the most part. He kind of went off his rocker a little bit at the end. But maybe it's just because, you know, being stuck with like a bunch of freshman teenagers like for 6 weeks.
I get that.
Yeah, me too.
I might too.
Aggie, yeah. And then my director was amazing. Really loved her. Yeah. So it was my first year experience.
That's so fun. Because did I tell you I took singing lessons?
No.
I did it 2 different times in the past. I think it's been 3 or 4 years. I did it once because I met this girl who was a psychic medium in Nashville when I'd moved here first time. And so we connected over that. Then I found out she does singing lessons, but she does it more she calls it sing from your soul. And so she does it more so in this emotional, intuitive, spiritual way where she really believes that if you're connected to your emotions and yourself, you can sing better, or like you can open up your throat and your sense of confidence and power through singing. Yeah. Like it's all so intertwined. So she really advocates for that. So she even talked about how the throat in photos looks the same as the vagina. Have you heard of this?
No.
Like it's one long tube that goes through your body. And so it looks the same and functions very similar on both ends. And so it's like very fascinating learning that. so there was this whole thing about like, you know, if you open your voice, then you kind of open your womb and open in kind of feminine energy in a way. But so I remember the first time I sang in front of the group, because there was, I think, 6 in our class. I sang for the first time and I was sobbing for maybe 2 or 3 hours after. Like I've never sobbed before, and it definitely released or opened something. And so I told her that happened afterwards, and she was like, yeah, that happened to me the first time I sang too. Which did you feel any kind of, did you feel more free after you sang? You said it was liberating.
It was definitely liberating. I don't know. I just felt kind of more like lighter, like airy, like maybe like I just like expelled some of the negativity that I kind of internalized after, you know,
after that first traumatic, wild experience. Yeah.
Foul.
Did you have another teacher that treated you weirdly? Because I had one in 4th grade who I basically
Who did you have in 4th grade? You went to Groveland, right?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I should say her name, but anyways, I had this sheet. We had all to fill out this sheet of like what we thought we were good at. I don't know why, but it was just a thing we had to do. And so I kind of filled out everything as high as possible because I was like, I'm pretty good at this. Like, I feel good at this. And when we reviewed it with my parents, I remember her going, you really think you're that good at everything? Because you're not, basically. And it's like, again, to knock down a kid in that way, it's so young. And I remember after that, my self-confidence was so squashed and I felt much more insecure. And I was like, no, I'm not that good at this because all these other people are better than me. And, like, why do you compare yourself to other kids too? Because I think that's what she was doing in some way, where she was like, you're not that good at this because all these other kids are. Isn't that wild?
That is wild. Like, for a teacher too, it's like, I see teachers as they're supposed to be like the role models. Like, they're supposed to build up the confidence as growing up. They're surrounded by so many different like kids with different confidence levels. And I feel like it's their job to uplift future generations of society. And the fact that some of them just push others down, it's just like, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, probably their own insecurities at play, but
yeah,
it's too bad. But so you're going to school in London soon?
Yes.
And when did you decide you wanted to go?
So I've known I wanted to go abroad since like the 6th grade. It was funny because I remember my cousin asking me just at like, I don't know if it was like Christmas or Thanksgiving or, some family gathering. He was like, so I know you're like in middle school, but where do you want to go to like college? Like, do you have any idea? And I was like, maybe like Europe. And he was like, okay.
You probably didn't expect that. It's just like some dumb cousin question.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how many adults though ask you what you want to be when you grow up or do when you're older?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's fun to ask and to answer, but at the time you're always going, I don't know, dude. I don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring.
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess I've always known that I wanted to go abroad. For a little bit, I was like, what if I just like went to Spain and got my degree in art, but in like Spanish? Just like took the classes in Spanish. And
because you speak Spanish.
Yeah, because I could totally do that. Like, I'm on a level where I could do that. And I'd struggle a little bit, obviously, but I feel like if they had resources for students and stuff, I was like, I could totally do that.
Yeah, you'd pick it up quick too.
Yeah. And Spanish is weird, but like,
I kind of prefer it.
Really?
Yeah. It's whatever you're used to though.
Yeah.
I go to Spain more than Mexico or places. Yeah.
Most of my teachers growing up were from either like Chile or Argentina and stuff. So I like picked up a lot of that kind of slang more so than like Spanish. And vosotros like really throws me off.
Yeah. I never know when to use that.
I don't either.
And even when I'm talking to adults, I'll usually just say tú. And you're supposed to say the usted sometimes. So I don't know, I feel like hopefully they understand. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It works, right? Yeah.
Okay, anyways. So you're thinking about Spain. And then did you decide when you had to start applying London?
Well, I just decided like through like it would just be easier if I just went to a country that spoke English. And for a while my parents are like, well, why don't you go to like Italy and like do like mosaics and tiles and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, I don't know Italian though, so it would be like different than going to like someplace that speaks Spanish, whereas I could pick it up, whereas Italian, and I feel like it's so similar to Spanish that it would be like French, where like when I tried to take a French class I'd be so confused just because it's too similar to Spanish.
I experienced that.
Yeah.
Because some words are exactly the same. Some are similar but different. And then some, of course, are way different. So then you're going, am I speaking Spanish or Italian right now? And I sometimes cross over when I speak one or the other nowadays. I've got it a little more separated as time goes on. But at first, it was confusing.
Yeah. And so then I was like, okay, so I got English. I got to do English. And so I was like, okay, I'll apply through UCAS, which is like the UK version of like the Common App. And so that allowed me to like apply to colleges in like Scotland, England, and those were the 2 countries that I basically kind of stuck to. I didn't apply to any in like Ireland or anything.
Those accents are wild. Just noting. Like if you came back with an Irish accent, I don't know. I'd love it, but okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I applied. You can only apply to 5 schools through UCAS. So I applied to 3 like that I would actually like consider going to, and then the other 2 were just like fillers because there weren't very many like arts or like ceramic kind of majors that I could apply to, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. So my number 1 originally was the University of Edinburgh, and I toured it with my dad like over the summer, although that was when the Fringe Fest was happening, which is
What's that?
it's like this month-long festival where like it's full of comedy acts, drama acts, like just like artistic.
Oh, so up your alley.
Yeah, and it was great. We didn't go to any of the shows though, just because most of them were sold out and like some of them were just like you know, but it was super interesting to be in that kind of community when that was going on, because that was all everybody ever like talked about, like, oh, are you going to the Fringe Fest? What show are you going to tonight? Like, what are you doing tomorrow night? And stuff like that. And the entire campus was just like overrun with booths and stuff, marketing and showing off like their acts and stuff. It was super cool. That meant that the school was closed, so we couldn't get like an official tour or anything.
Oh, interesting.
Unfortunately.
So you just got to see the outside?
Yeah, so I just got to see the outside and stuff. But it was super cool. And then I also toured the University of St. Andrews, which was about a 30-minute drive north, just across like the little ocean divot peninsula thing.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called.
Are these kind of close to the city of London, or is it more north?
No, this is in Scotland.
Oh, it's in Scotland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, sorry, I should have like specified that.
No, it's okay.
But the University of St. Andrews, I got there and it was like very traditional university, like 1400s kind of style. It was literally like Hogwarts. Like the students still wore robes and
What?
like
No way.
yeah, and
In a cool way or creepy?
it was like it kind of felt a little cultish, not gonna lie. So I was like, okay. Like one of the traditions is they would like line up and just walk down this like pier and walk back, and it took like 4 hours, and I was like, okay.
And they don't even receive a graduation diploma. That you know
I mean?
Like,
yeah, but like that's just they just walk. They just walk.
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
You're like, is my soul gonna be possessed by this place?
Yeah.
You're afraid someone doing a spell on me?
And literally, and so I was like, okay. And they didn't even have like an art degree that I could get, so I'd either have to do my like runner up was like history, and English and philosophy. And so I would either have to do one of those 3. And I was like, you know, it sounds fun, but my soul is just like really calling to arts. So I didn't even apply to that college, but it was super cool. It was a little weird, but it was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I applied to Edinburgh, the University of the Creative Arts, which is in a smaller city called Farnham, and then the University of the Arts London. And Edinburgh was my number 1. The University of the Arts London, I was like, I'm never going to get into this. So, like, whatever, I'll apply, but, like, half-heartedly, because, like, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, because you said it was kind of considered the Harvard of art schools.
Yeah, it's second in the world for arts and design. So I was like, okay, it's never going to happen. They have a 7% acceptance rate, like,
oh, wow.
Whatever.
Is it pretty small? Do you know?
It's a university made up of, like, 7 different, like, campuses and stuff. And each campus has, like, different, like, arts, like, ability. So like my campus is called Central St. Martin's, and it
you have to get back to that. You haven't told them yet. You got in.
Oh,
Cat's out of the bag. She's in.
I did. But originally I was like, okay, I'm never gonna get in. But I got into the University of the Creative Arts in Farnham for ceramics and glass blowing. So I was like, okay, great, I'll go there. And so I like kind of mentally was like, okay, I'll commit to that. But like through UCAS, you can't like actually like commit to anything until you've heard responses from all 5 schools. I got rejected from Edinburgh, so I was like, okay,
your original top.
Yeah, original top school. Okay. So I was like, shucks, okay, whatever. Cried in my room for a little bit, got over it, whatever. And then I got into the University of the Creative Arts, and I was like, cool, okay, I'll go there, right? Because there's no way I was going to get into the University of the Arts.
Isn't that what you originally told me when
Probably.
you got in? You probably, yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I told a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then got scheduled for an interview for the University of the Arts in London, with like the head of the ceramics department.
Does everyone get an interview? I never asked you this.
I don't know. I feel like
Was it a God moment?
maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Because I don't think everybody gets an interview. I feel like some people just like, they see their portfolio and they're like, okay, I like this. Like they're in. And then other people who are like, I want to talk to them a little bit about this. Then they get like the interview and stuff. Yeah. And then like obviously others just get like plain out rejected. And so getting the interview, I was like, okay, cool. So I got scheduled for 10 a.m. in like the London time. And so that was 4 a.m. for Minnesota time. And so I hop on the call and I'm like, hey, obviously I'm like, I woke up like an hour ago at 3 to get like ready and like, you know, take a shower. So I don't look like I just like woke up and like a dead person, because that's how I look in the morning. And I'm sitting in my office, my window's like kind of cracked open. So like, it's obviously like dark out. And he goes, the first thing he says to me is, what time is it? Where are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm in Minnesota in the United States. Like it's 4 a.m. here. And he's like, that's awful. You don't normally get up at this time, right? And I'm like, no, I do not.
I did this for you, sir.
Yeah, solely for you. Yeah. And so we kind of just talked about like my portfolio and stuff, and we vibed. Like,
And didn't you say you weren't really caring or trying because you figured you wouldn't get in? So
yeah,
you were
I
just
figured
like,
I wouldn't get
whatever.
in. So I was just like, I'll just be myself. Like, I didn't prepare anything. I barely looked over my portfolio again before hopping on the call. Like, I did not read over my personal statement. And I was just like, you know what? YOLO, like full send.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess we vibed because he sent me the acceptance like that day. And
That's amazing.
I got in. So
was he a vibe on the call? Did you like him too?
Yeah, he was super cool. He gave off the vibe. You know, he was like maybe like 40s, 50s, but he gave off the vibe of, I'm just a chill art dude living in London, man. And I was like, that's awesome.
That's so perfect.
Yeah.
So is he going to be your main professor?
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to teach all of your classes or some of them?
I think some of them, because going back onto the school's website, he's like the senior lecturer, and then there's like a few people like underneath him. And then also like the department organizer, like he's the head of the department, but there's like the materials kind of organizer and like stuff like that.
So you'll see him a lot.
Yeah, I'll see him quite a bit.
And you're taking all ceramics classes?
Yes. Yeah.
How many?
I don't know.
Okay.
I still gotta figure that stuff out.
Yeah. They don't schedule you for the first year? They let you decide?
They do. So it's like the way the school is kind of like divided is it's 3 kind of sets of 30 weeks. So I'll get my full like bachelor's after 3 years.
Really?
Which is really nice. But that's because like we don't have like the fillers of like the
Whoa. Your brain spazzed out because it's like, we don't know what that is. We can't do those required classes. We only do art.
Yeah, only art, man.
Like your brain actually glitched.
It did. It fully did. Requirements. So like I won't have like a history class. I won't have like an English class. I won't have to do gym or anything, which is like kind of nice. But that means that I get my degree after 3 years instead of like, you know, having those fillers, which is kind of nice because I did like the IB diploma. So it's like I already took like classes that were at that level. So it would just kind of be a little bit repetitive, I guess, if I were to take like those prerequisite classes that a lot of other colleges require for their degrees and stuff.
And if people don't know what IB is, it's kind of like AP classes, advanced. But I would say it's more writing and speaking.
Very much more writing and speaking. IB stands for International Baccalaureate. So it's like AP, but it's a program that's used globally. So AP is only used in the United States, really. Whereas IB, like I have the same curriculum as like a school in Singapore, a school in London, a school in Italy, a school in Russia. Everybody kind of learns the same kind of curriculum when under the IB diploma. And it is a separate diploma that I will receive with my high school diploma.
You did full IB?
Full IB.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I did a couple in high school.
Yeah.
I did a couple AP, a couple IB, and a couple general. But I definitely preferred that I liked all, depended.
I prefer the IB compared to
Yeah.
AP. I took 3 AP classes before my junior year, and then kind of just full sent it into IB. And I like the structure of IB so much better. I always like overthink multiple choice
Same.
because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it could be this, but also this kind of sounds right. I know it's not those two, but I think it's this, and it's always not. And I'm like, bruh. So
My brain overthinks it, or it overthinks the overthinking, and then it just spirals, and I don't know what's going on.
whereas when I'm writing, I can just like write down everything that I know, and I'll always get like the credit for it because I know my stuff. But when in multiple choice, I'm like, do I?
Yeah,
But
I can totally relate to that. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
nice. So now you'll just be making things with your hands.
Yeah.
Do you even have to write?
I mean, I'll probably have to do like, like rationales, like artist rationales and stuff, and write about whatever I make. Also maybe like some portfolio work.
And you better come back with an English accent.
Oh,
Or at least you.
Yeah.
Izzy, how are you? And then I told you yesterday, it's like they say holiday instead of
holiday
vacation.
instead of vacation, holiday.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And then, what else do they use? Like, oh, I think they say tins. Okay, so instead of if you go to get a can of beans, they'll say a tin of beans.
Ooh.
So
I
there's
like
some fun
can
things
better.
you'll have to learn. No.
Beans on toast.
It's disgusting. No, I refuse.
Oh,
And then
oh my
hopefully,
gosh.
what?
My best friend's basically stepdad, but her mom's boyfriend, they've been dating for like 8 years now. So he basically helped raise her. He is British and he grew up in England. And every time I come over, he's eating this, I don't know what it is, but I think it's called like Marmite or something.
Oh no.
And you put it on like toast and it's like
Reminds me of Vegemite.
nasty.
Oh,
Nasty. And he always makes me try it, just like a bite. And I'm like, oh, okay.
And then he's warming you up to it. Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I bet in a couple of years you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
We'll see. And then I'm hoping that I'm gonna be in Ibiza every summer or at some point throughout the year, and then we'll meet up
Oh, yeah.
and we can walk El Camino de Santiago.
Yes.
One year.
I've always wanted to do that.
I asked you about that yesterday. Where did you hear about it?
I read a book in Spanish and it was, I forget what it's called, but I'm pretty sure I read it sophomore year in my humanities class. And it was like about,
Memoir? Like a real story?
no, it was not
Oh,
a memoir. It was
okay.
definitely like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look it up after this.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
Yeah, there's I think a documentary on Netflix about somebody that walked it. But yeah, I've walked it for I think it was 4 days total. And then I dipped and went to Italy. So I have
That's
to go
so
back
nice,
and
though.
finish.
Yeah.
Or do the whole thing. Now I know how to prepare and what to expect. So yeah. El Norte route along the coast, that's what we did, and it was gorgeous.
Oh.
But so difficult because you have to go up and down. And it was raining, so there were mudslides.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
it's entertaining.
Every
But-
time I see a mudslide, I always think about like that TikTok trend when people like wore trash bags and like covered themselves in dish soap and then slid down hills. I've always wanted to try that.
That sounds so fun. Even today, I went hiking in the woods and it was pretty muddy. So I took off my shoes and started walking. And it like squishes and squeaks and it feels so good. You feel like a little kid.
Yeah.
It's the best. And then people look at you like you're crazy. You're like, I'm having more fun than you are. I don't know why this popped into my head, but you have a gecko,
I do.
which I kind of am obsessed with. I remember when you first got it, I was like, why did she get a gecko? That sounds scary. But I think I took care of it once, didn't I?
Maybe.
I think I did for a couple days.
Yeah, probably when like I went out of town or something.
Yeah. What's its name?
His name is Dino Nugget.
That's right.
It's because he's a crested gecko. So he's a little bit more like brownish, yellowish kind of. And he looked like a little dinosaur chicken nugget. So I was like, okay, Dino Nugget it is.
Naturally.
Yeah. So.
And how long have you had him? How old does he live to be?
I've had him for about 5 years now. And they live anywhere from like 8 to 15 years.
Do you bring him to London?
No.
Your parents have to take care of him? Or do you have to sell him?
I have to give him away, I think.
Oh, no.
But
Give him to Ben, my brother.
Would he like it?
I think he would. He's got a cat recently named him Randy. So you could have Randy the cat and Dinah the gecko.
Period. I was thinking, because I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll give him to like one of my friends' like younger brothers, but then I don't want him to end up like in a home with like a 10-year-old boy who like barely takes care of him and like, you know, he just sits there. And so my friend works at a nature center over in St. Cloud, and they are looking for like another gecko to like kind of put in their like display and also like, you know, to take care of, but they'll like keep him and stuff. So I was like, hey, Anna, I can give them Dino Nugget and like they could like take care of him for me. And Anna was like, oh my God, I think they would love that. And then I could like take care of him because she works there and she takes care of the animals like on the weekends and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so then she would be able to tell me how he's doing and stuff. And
That sounds perfect.
yeah.
Definitely do that over my brother. My brother would maybe be the 10-year-old boy who doesn't take care of him, so, even though he's 23. But okay. And so would you ever get another one in the future? Like if you came back, would you try to get him back?
I don't know. That's so tricky because like
Do they get used to their environment?
they do, but like also would I come back?
Oh, actually, that's so
Yeah.
true.
Like I'll be back in the summers maybe, or I might be traveling and like going to Ibiza or like, I don't know.
Yeah, I could see you ending up in Europe even. Would you ever get a snake?
Yeah, I actually wanted a snake first, and then my mom was like, absolutely not. And then I was like, okay, fine. How about a gecko? And she was like, okay. So
That's a good compromise.
yeah.
My friends got a snake growing up. It ended up escaping the cage, and they couldn't find it for I think a couple days. And then one night it went through their fan. You know those little fans that you use for white noise at night? It went through it. And so they woke up to snake guts splattered
Oh my
all
God.
over. Isn't that just horrifying and disgusting? Yeah. So
Oh my God.
after hearing that, I was like, I don't think I'll ever get a snake. I mean, obviously, like that's a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't really want a snake to begin with, but that just kind of confirmed for me.
Yeah. That would actually, I think, kind of confirm it for me too.
Really? Don't mean to traumatize you too.
No, because I keep a fan in my room for white noise.
Oh, yeah. Do you think the snakes like the fans? Or why do you think it did that?
I don't know. Maybe it was just like, ooh, I could totally climb this thing. And it was
Cool
just
noise.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Or like, ooh, nice breeze. Let me see how close I can get. Or like something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I also almost got a bunny the other week.
Really?
I was going to try to foster it, but then I realized I don't have a lot of space in my apartment.
My friend fosters bunnies.
Really?
Yeah. Eleanor.
Does
Shout
she-
out. But
Does she love it?
she loves it. Yeah. She has two right now, I
time?
think. Yeah. At
They
a time.
play?
They do play. Yeah. And she keeps them in like a little like fenced off area, like in her living room, in her kitchen. And they're super cute. She fosters them. She takes them like to the doctor every now and then and just, yeah.
I might try it in the fall. I think the summer's too crazy. Maybe in the fall.
You totally should.
Okay, so what next? You want to talk about history?
Yeah, sure, we can.
Because you love history.
I do.
And I even asked you last night, I was like, what happened in the 1890s? Is that what I said?
Yeah.
And then you were talking about the 1890s and the 1790s or something?
Yeah.
Explain.
Okay, so basically in the late 1700s was the British kind of industrial revolution. And it was just like people were just industrializing because, I don't know, they were like, guys,
Wanting to advance?
Yeah. They were like, guys, this is like kind of boring. They also found out that obviously like machinery is a lot cheaper than human labor. And so they were like, okay, well, it takes less skills to run a machine to like, you know, make these fabrics and textiles and whatnot than it is to pay like a human hand to make them, right? And so then these factories started building. And
Is this before Ford, Henry Ford?
yes, this is much before Henry Ford.
I figured.
Henry Ford was in like,
Is that the 1900s?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
like 1910s, I think,
Yeah.
prior to the Great Depression.
Oh,
I
yeah,
believe.
that makes sense. Yeah, you're all in the 1700s right now, aren't you? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so British people industrialized. They started making like machines like the hand loom and the spinning jenny, and
What does a spinning jenny do?
it just spins. I don't know,
Does it
man.
spin fabric?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But
You just know the name. I love it.
I just do know the name. I also have like an image in my head of what it looks like, but I have no idea what it actually does.
Transferring image to viewers now. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And then they started to use like water and steam power and stuff like that. And that's when like trains kind of started coming into play. And then the railroads.
Even waterfalls?
Mm-hmm.
Or, okay, so
And,
there's
like,
this place nearby. It's Harpeth River State Park. And there's this hole that's, I guess, slaves back in the day dug through this hole or tunnel thing. And I think they used it for powering the plant or machines or different things like that.
Definitely could have.
Yeah. Okay, keep going.
So they did that, and then building the railroads and all of these like factories and houses and stuff. Obviously, they started kind of creating cities and stuff like that. And originally, before that, it was like kind of all spread out into like this, like obviously like spread out. And then building factories, it kind of rushed everybody into cities and created like this kind of urbanization.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was why.
Mm-hmm. But obviously using all of these natural resources, they were like, okay, we're running out of stuff. Like, we need more stuff. And this is maybe like 70, 80 years later. And they're like, okay, who can we make like a trade deal with? And so they sent Commodore Matthew Perry over to Japan in the 1880s, 1890s-ish area. I forget the exact time. And he was like, hey, Japan, you guys are kind of behind on the ball game, because they still had like samurais. They still had like kind of this old Japanese kind of culture. And so the Japanese were like, oh, we are really behind. Like, we're kind of in trouble. And so they, with like the help of British technology and stuff, industrialized like super quickly.
Really? So they kind of worked together?
Kind of. But it was like
or more inspired Japan?
They were, inspired. Okay. Mostly because it was like British kind of ideas, but it was like used with like a Japanese kind of like cultural kind of way, I guess. And so the Japanese industrialized super quickly, and then they started trading with Britain and stuff for resources, because Japan had a ton of like coal and iron and just stuff that was obviously useful to the British.
Wow. Okay, so then Japan, did they catch up or surpass Britain at any time, would you say?
They caught up, I'd say. And then World War I and World War II specifically kind of happened. And then everybody was like...
Oh, especially with
with the bombings and stuff.
That's tough, yeah.
And I mean, World War I, Japan was on the Allies' side, but they kind of felt screwed over in the Treaty of Versailles and the Paris peace settlements, because they were like, okay, we were promised like land and stuff, and we never got that land. And so then when Hitler and Germany and Russia invaded Poland, Japan was like, okay, screw you, Allies. Like, I know these people are going to give us like what we want. And so then they joined the Axis forces in World War II.
How do you know so much? Do you remember information easily, or is it more probably because you're passionate?
I think a lot of it is passion, but also it's just like history class in like the IB diploma. Like, a lot of it is writing and memorization, because the final exam, like this, it's a 2-year class. So like the final exam is everything that you've ever learned over like the extent of those 2 years, and they could ask anything.
Oh my Lord. So anything. You got to remember a lot.
So you got to remember a lot. And if you don't know a lot, then it's like, you're not going to get a good grade. Even if you know a lot, like, for example, if you know a lot about like Russia, they could ask a question about Japan, or they could ask a question about England. And so you're just like, oh, shoot, I only studied Russia. You're kind of screwed. So you got to study like everything.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite time period?
My favorite time period, I think, is maybe like the interwar period between the First World War and World War II, because like just so much happened that it led up to obviously World War II and stuff. And so it's just kind of like fascinating to see like how the actions of everybody kind of created like this perfect like opportunity for Hitler obviously to like rise to power and start his invasions and stuff. And it's just kind of bonkers how nobody like noticed it sooner or like didn't act sooner, you know? I don't know.
There were a lot of red flags or hints, and
There were
people
so
were just
many red flags, and
turning
maybe
heads.
that's just like me coming in from like, oh, now we know like what happened and stuff. But yeah, it's just like everybody was just so afraid of like another war happening that they instilled kind of this policy of appeasement when it came to Hitler and Nazi Germany, that like their fears for another world war eventually like actually led up to another world war. So yeah.
Whoa. There's a saying that whatever you run from, you end up running towards.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, all these people were trying to avoid it and then ended up happening.
Yeah.
Do you know the story about Hitler as a kid?
As a kid?
And like how it all kind of, his anger?
Not necessarily. What I was taught was that he wasn't really into politics necessarily as much until after the First World War. And he's originally from Austria. He's not even German, really. Kind of after World War I, when the Paris peace settlements like started coming into play, he and many other people in Germany felt that they had been stabbed in the back by their own government and stuff, because in their perspective, they had been going off of the propaganda that Germany was going to win the First World War. Like there was nothing kind of standing in their way. And so the German government kind of surrendered with the intent of like being able to participate in the negotiations and stuff after the war, because they surrendered. They weren't like completely like defeated. So it was like, okay, now that we've surrendered, like we have a little bit of a say. And it wasn't even really Germany that started the war. It was like another country that invaded and killed like some
The first one you're talking about?
Yeah, some politician and stuff. And anyways, so yeah, when Hitler kind of shared that like anger, I guess, for their own government and stuff. And this is when like the Weimar Republic was like kind of going back and forth and like bouncing around.
What's that?
So the Weimar Republic is kind of the government that was in power in between World War I and World War II.
In Germany or Europe?
In Germany, yeah. And
were they trying to chill things out?
They tried. They were not the best. It was very like politically unstable. They bounced around from like like 7 different governments in the span of like 4 years.
Oh Lord.
And so it was just widely unstable. They went off of this system called a proportional electoral system.
There's a lot of big words here.
Yeah. Imagine spelling them.
Yeah.
So basically, like if you had a political party that had even like a low amount of votes, they would still get a seat in kind of the representation for the government and stuff. So that's kind of how Hitler rose to power. He was angry about kind of what happened and like the complete 180 that kind of the war took with his country and stuff. And so
because they were now weaker?
Yeah, because the Paris peace settlements, they forced the demilitarization of the Rhineland, of the Ruhr, which was basically German territory on the border of France. And so France was obviously like, I don't want them like invading us again. So we want this to be like demilitarized so that they can't put any troops on that part of land. And that was like one of the parts of the Treaty of Versailles that was like written in. And then also Germany was forced to like only have a navy of 6 boats, troops of like 10,000, I think, something like that. And so they were just overall so much weaker. And then also the reparations that they had to pay for all the damage and stuff that happened in the war.
Oh, so they went into debt probably.
They went into so much debt. And so then the Dawes Plan was created by the US, where they would send loans to Germany, which Germany could kind of like give back to wherever they needed to in Europe to pay their reparations. But then the Great Depression hit.
Oh,
And
so the US
the
can't
stock
pay them.
market completely crashed, and the German economy was completely based off of like the well-being of the US like economy. And so when that fell, Germany had nothing. They had absolutely nothing, to the point where people would use like their cash as kindling in the fire, just because like it was basically nothing. Like it went from a ratio of like 1.5 to a ratio of like 1 to 1 trillion. And so literally like the richest of rich had nothing. The poorest poor had even less. And so many people died just out of starvation. And
how did I not know this part? That's so, there's so much to history.
Yeah, there's so much and so many variables to everything. But anyways, Hitler saw all this happen and he was like, guys, we gotta do something about that. Let me get in here. And so he joined, what was it called? It wasn't considered the Nazi Party yet.
He had a different name.
Yeah, he had a different name for it. And so he kind of worked his way up the ranks in that political party, gaining seats in the government.
He must have done that quickly.
It took about 5 years, I think, 5 to 10 years.
That's pretty quick.
It was time. It took a lot of time. But as he started like making promises and spreading his propaganda, he started gaining more and more and more kind of seats in the government to the point where he had like over 50% of the seats in the German government. And that's when he took complete control. And the president and the king of Germany at the time was like, okay, so this guy's kind of trouble. Like, we got to keep him under our wing. So they appointed him as the chancellor of Germany. They appointed him that. He didn't rise up to that, thinking that they could kind of control him and use him as like a puppet, right? No.
They gave him too much power, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They really did.
Uh-oh.
And then he kind of changed into the Hitler that we know of today.
Wow. So I heard this story that when he was little, he wanted to go to an art school.
Yeah.
I think for architecture. You heard this too?
Mm-hmm.
And then his dad said no because he didn't want him to pursue an artist life and basically made him go do something else. And so I've heard some spiritual people. There's like this lady, what's her name? Dolores Cannon. She wrote a book and there's this kind of channeling with somebody else on the other side. And they basically said like a lot of the karma for what Hitler did is all on his dad's back because his dad almost like caused Hitler to have all this anger and resentment towards his dad at first for not allowing him to do it.
His dad was also abusive.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so it's probably from even childhood. And then like that anger just, it's a pattern that repeats into adulthood. So he's taking that anger and turning it out towards everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe also that like lack of control over his own like dreams and wishes and stuff, kind of changing it into like,
let me control people in the world. That's crazy what trauma can do to a person.
For real. Yeah.
Do you feel like you have trauma? It's such a weird question.
I mean, yeah, I think so. I don't know like where it stems from, but
right? Because sometimes I'm like, I think this was passed down from generations ago. Or that's where I sometimes believe in past lives because I'm going, this makes no sense in my current life. It's got to come from somewhere else. Or even someone I know has this theory that, of course, all DNA has memory or cells have memory. And some cell in my body could have been at once in a stream in Poland.
It probably was.
Yeah. So now it's in my body. So it carries some kind of memory from that area where maybe somebody was super angry and then that
kicked the water.
I literally was thinking like threw a stone into the water and then now it's in my body. You know, you never know where energy, cells, things come from. And so like I'll have nightmares of specific traumatic experiences happening. And then in real life, it'll seem like I have that trauma. But in my memory, I'm like, I don't remember that happening as a kid. Where's it coming from?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a whole rabbit hole, to be honest.
It is.
Yeah. And then they say singing and art is a really good way of healing the body of it because you put your trauma or your hurt experiences into art.
Yeah.
And then it kind of transmutes it into the world. Do you feel like you do that through ceramics and pottery?
Kind of. Yeah.
Maybe unintentionally even.
Maybe. Yeah. Sometimes I have like dreams of like me creating like a pot and stuff. And then like, I'm like, I haven't actually ever made that before. Like, let me make that now. And so.
That's cool. It's like, wait, where do you think it's coming from? Do you think that's God giving that idea or some spirit?
Maybe.
An elf?
Yeah.
I feel like when I see you, I think of fairy gnome culture.
Period. You want to know something funny?
Yeah.
Last night I was actually looking up like fairy tattoos to like tattoo on myself.
You should.
Yeah.
That would be
I
such a
really want
vibe.
something just like right on the inside of my arm.
It would go with the one on your back too, I
Yeah.
think. Do you feel most connected to that fairy tale culture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, my exhibition for IB art was all about kind of like fantasy and like kind of traversing into that side of like possibilities and worlds and stuff, and like the creativity that it takes to like, you know, imagine like a whole other land, which and maybe that stems from like my love of reading. And
Yeah, you read so many fantasy books, don't you?
I read a lot of fantasy, science fiction. Yeah.
What's the latest one series?
The latest one I read was called When the Moon Hatched, and it was a really nice book, actually. I didn't realize that it was like part of a series though, and it was the first one out. So now I have to wait.
For them to write all of the others?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Good luck. Yeah, the only one I've read lately was the Akotar, which of course blew up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to read something not so mainstream, I think. Because there's a lot of mixed reviews. Of course, people love it, and then some people are like, it's written not very well.
I mean, I feel like it's a nice like little like throwaway, like time. I don't know if we want to call it like a time waster, but it's nice to just like sit down and read it and not have to think about anything. Yeah.
It brings you into another world.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, what if? What if? And then
I
I actually got so caught up in it that I was trying to imagine my real life like that. And I actually kind of took some tips and tricks from, is it pronounced Faye?
Yeah.
Faye. Yeah, so she uses those shields around her mind. And I started practicing that in real life because I feel like I get so many thoughts from other people in my brain.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if I just had a little mental shield? How would that feel? And it kind of helped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Energy, I guess. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
You should write a book. I just had that thought. Would you?
I don't think I'm that talented at writing compared to like creating art. I don't know. For a while, I was like dead set on like writing my own book. I just like don't know how to get like the details I want out onto a page. I feel like I just don't have that kind of like talent compared to like some other authors.
Yeah, you could always pair up with someone. Or you could do poems, maybe.
I love poetry. Yeah.
I could see you doing poetry. And then having photos of your ceramics.
For a little bit, I was wondering if like I found someone who like needed art for like a children's book or something. I could paint for that, or like, you know.
Wait, will you do it for me?
Yeah.
Want to make a book together?
Yes.
Or I have a friend who writes.
Oh my God, I would love to.
I feel like there's so many people I know that want to write books, or they have one skill but not the other. So I'll match make.
Yeah.
I want to make one that's kind of like a Dr. Seuss kids book.
Ooh, that would be fun. Like the little funky, like
really crazy drawings and silly stories.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also told you I think I want to make a magazine kids book, like mashup of a magazine fashion with storytelling.
From like
stuff.
a kid's book. Nice.
Yeah. Grace had the idea actually to incorporate stickers.
Ooh.
Because I do a lot of collaging. So then I could incorporate stickers into the book so people can make their own collages.
Oh, that'd be so cool. I love
we'll
stickers.
See. Yeah, stickers are fun.
And glitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any last words, Izzy?
I don't think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. This was great.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Okay.